One of the modern upgrades for dive torches is a zoom mode. For dive torches, you used to have to choose between a spotlight torch or a floodlight. You had to choose one or the other on the dive, and in this torch you get both torches in one. Hi all of you awesome scuba divers out there, welcome to the Scuba Diving Magazine channel, your favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Today I have the OrcaTorch ZD710, and the Z in the name stands for zoom because you can change the beam angle on the go in the water to switch between a tight spotlight or a wide floodlight to illuminate everything in front of you, or one thing in particular. But first, let's see how it arrives and what comes with it. This is how it arrives in a little EVA case. You've got the little barcode on the zipper. A little grab handle as well. On the inside, you have the torch itself, and the battery's already inside. I've checked, and it actually switches on. We'll take a closer look at the torch in a second. You get a USB-C charging cable. So USB, I think it's A, like the standard USB, or like the old standard, I guess, because the new standard is USB-C. Everything's coming in USB-C nowadays, and that's how you recharge the battery. 3 pre-greased O-rings in a little Ziploc bag to replace the ones that are already in the torch. You also have a wrist lanyard. So you got, if you know what a wrist lanyard is, just to keep the torch safe if ever you mishandle it or whatever. It doesn't go too far because it's still attached to you. A warranty card that you need to fill out. A little booklet of the rest of the range, or at least some of the torches that OrcaTorch make, and a user manual. Please read the user manual carefully as it helps you better understand how to use this product. Yeah, just information on how to use the torch. A little mesh section in the top, and a removable like pre-molded thing insert that you can take out and repurpose it if you so wish. But yeah, let's take a close look at the torch itself. The torch itself measures 182 millimeters in length, 55 millimeters in diameter for the really chunky head section, but then that tapers down to a 27 millimeter section in the like skinny bit of the handle. Including the battery, it weighs in at around 313 grams, but I think that changes a little bit depending on what charge you have. Starting head to toe, the head has a like protective shroud around the lens to protect that fish-eye dome lens, and that's what's basically adjusting the beam angle depending on how close it is to the actual LED. Around the shroud, you have zoom in and zoom out as the entire head rotates, but it doesn't change the size of the torch. Many similar torches, as you rotate or whatever the mechanism is, it changes, it moves that lens closer or further from the LED to change the beam angle, which makes the torch a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. OrcaTorch move the LED on the inside closer to the lens or further away, so it doesn't actually affect the size or the length of the torch. It doesn't make it longer or shorter, it just adjusts where the electronics are basically. But that shifts the beam angle from a wide 76-degree beam with a very even coverage and a slight corona, if you can pick up on that, around the edge. The spotlight is a very neat little 8-degree beam with an unusual double corona, but most of the light is focused into the tiny spotlight in the center. Around the head, you have a great grippy section here so that you can change the mode even when you're wearing thick gloves. You've still got plenty of grip. The shroud is crenellated around the top, so if you're ever struggling to get any kind of grip there, you can also grip on that to turn the head if you need to. There's a good amount of resistance, not so much that you need more than a finger and a thumb to change it, but enough so that it stays where you leave it and it's not going to like change itself. Down from that, you have actually a mounting point on the underside so that you can mount it to a wrist mount or a Goodman style handle. When I first unboxed it and had a look, I saw a flat head and I tried to unscrew it and ended up scratching the torch, so don't do that yourself. It's there to stay. Top side, and you have the power button. Push it once for high power, which is 1600 lumens. Push it again and then you get the mid power setting, which is 750 lumens, and once more for its low power setting at 250 lumens, and then once more it turns it off. On any mode, if you hold the button down, you get a turbo mode, which is 2700 lumens, but only whilst you hold that button down. If you hold the button down whilst the torch is off, then you'll get 2 flashes to indicate that you're in storage mode so that the torch won't activate whilst it's in a bag and drain the battery or overheat itself. A quick double press of that button reactivates the torch and then it just works as usual. As far as overheating, inside the head of the torch is a temperature sensor that turns the torch off if it's going to overheat. That's only really an issue when you're up on the surface. Underwater, the water itself is going to dissipate the heat. It acts as a heat sink, but inside, if you are using it in the garden or on a dog walk, whatever it is, then yeah, if it senses that it's going to get too hot because you're using the higher power settings, it'll just switch itself off to prevent any damage. Body of the torch is mostly smooth. It's made from black anodized aluminium, and when you unscrew the bottom of the torch, the first thing you see is the triple O-ring seal and then the removable rechargeable 21700 battery with a built-in USB charging port. And the bottom of the torch itself has a silicone band, in this case it's orange, and a chunky anchor point, so you can attach a bolt snap, that wrist lanyard, whatever it is, you've got a nice secure point. Who's the ZD710 for? It's the definition of an all-rounder. You can change the beam angle to what you need at that specific time. If you want to communicate, then you've got that spotlight. If you want to just illuminate everything, you've got the floodlight, as well as change the power setting. If you don't need high beam, then you can save some power and just set it to low. If you need to really reach out and touch someone far away, then you've got that turbo mode. It's a decent size for its output and it's balanced very well. When you first look at it, you think it's going to be very like front heavy, but it's very well balanced just around the button. If anything, it's leaning towards the bottom, and that makes it very comfortable in the hand. Or if you mount it to the back of your hand as well, it's not going to be just dragging on your knuckles and pointing downwards. It actually holds where you want it to. The spotlight does have an odd like diamond cross pattern that I'm not sure if the camera will actually pick it up, but there's like a cross pattern on the LED itself, and then that gets focused through the lens and you can see it when it's fully in spotlight mode. If you back it off a little bit, it blurs. You quickly get over it, but it just caught my eye, so I thought it was worth mentioning. That and the zoom in, zoom out seem backwards to me. You rotate the head towards the zoom in, and it's the wide angle floodlight, which just seems backwards to me. Maybe I just read it backwards, or maybe this is just a weird sample because this is a sample torch. The power is very impressive, as well as the burn times for a torch this size. I'm really loving modern dive torches where you can remove and recharge the battery because it gives you the best of both worlds. You can top up the battery on the go as you need to, and then replace the battery if it ever ages or diminishes. It's not a matter of once the battery dies, your torch dies, or you have to replace the entire battery when you're close or you're running a little bit empty. So best of both worlds in my eyes. 189.95 British pounds or 159.95 US dollars is a reasonable price for the torch that you're getting. It's really powerful. Other torches in that kind of price range aren't really hitting those kind of numbers, so it is quite easy for me to recommend. For more information, I'll put links down in the description and one up here in the corner where you can find your closest OrcaTorch dealer and get your hands on one of these. Otherwise, remember to check out our website and magazine. It's always a nice gift idea. We've got Christmas coming up in a few months. I know it's only a few months now. So if there is a diver in your life and you don't know what to get them, or if you got loved ones who are asking you for gift ideas, then yeah, you can get them a magazine subscription. And of course, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube if you're new. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.